People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of Seven on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located Purple Butterfly soaps.myshopify.com, my blog Purple Butterfly people.blogspot.com. And today I'm set up to make some Anago Black soap. In here I have coconut oil, soy short, olive oil, plantain skins that's been ground down to a powder, and cacao nibs, which has also been ground down to a powder. I usually make this in a small batch. Usually I get 6 or 7 bars out of the small batch, and it's in a smaller crock pot. But because there's a propensity to volcano, and when you have a small batch, that's a real issue. I got it in my larger crock pot, so that way if it volcanoes, the volume of the soap is right about here, and that gives it this much room to volcano, so that way the volcano is contained. In other words, it won't boil out. Okay, this is a 6-hour cook. I am not going to put you through 6 hours of watching me cook a soap. I am going to show you the basics, and then when it, starts to cook, I'm going to either pause the video or turn it off. I need my full face shield. The oils are already melted, but I'm going to turn it on high. I forgot I have this hairstyle that is basically going to fight the shield. It's in a ponytail. Let's see if I can flatten it out. That'll do. But it's literally just balancing on my head there. Okay. The lye is hot. I measured it, stirred it, but it hasn't cooled down. Because it's a cook soap, it doesn't need to cool down. And for some reason, hold on, let me make sure I plugged in the right thing. Oh, it's plugged up. Oh, I see. It's on. I have another Hamilton Beach crock pot. That one lights up when you turn it on. So there's like a little panel that tells you the temperature and so forth and so on. So, yeah. This one, you just basically have to put your hand here and feel the heat, which I can, which means it's working. So let's get this started. This is called Anago Black Soap. It's one of my best sellers. Basically, I make it, I sell out of it, and then for months people say, can you make more, can you make more, can you make more? But that's dependent on when plantains are in season. The cacao nibs I have an endless supply of, but plantains, sometimes they be at the store and sometimes they don't. Last time I made some, I got extra plantains, grounded it up, put it through the process, and I have a bag, so this will make a couple more batches. That's how I'm making it today, even though it's technically a snow day, which is the point. I need to do something as opposed to think about the weather. And this might splash because the sheer volume is lower than what I usually mix. comes to trace, then I put the top on it and cook it. I think I'm going to tilt it to one side. That way it can't splash because it's higher than the blade. As far as soap goes, this has no color added, except for the natural color of the soap. It has no scent added. It's basically pour, cook, wait, and then wait, and then wait some more. Which is why it's not one of my favorites to make. I like making soaps that there's, you know, interest. There's nothing to this except for, you know, waiting and cooking. It's kind of rough. Come to trace. Fall off my face now. Hold on. Okay. Oh, let me move this. Bubbles. So it's definitely cooking. Now we're basically going to let it cook for 6 hours. Maybe 3, depends on how well the soap wants to do everything it needs to do. But on average, it's 6 hours. Every little bit of this out of there, because, yeah, we don't want no soap left behind. used the last of my olive oil to make this. So I need to get more quickly because I already know somebody's going to request this. And because it's such a small batch, all that splattered on the edges, gotta scrape that completely down so that way it's incorporated into the main batch. Yeah. Now, and the rest is letting it sit, watching it, see if it overturns. Has to do that at least twice before it reaches Vaseline stage. And after the first flow over, if you make cooked soap, you know what I mean. It literally implodes against itself, so that way all of the ingredients on the bottom come to the top, and the ingredients that's then on the bottom comes to the top. Kind of like a boil, except for it's in slow motion. And at that point, I'll turn it down and cook it some more. And yeah. But at this point, there's nothing to see here. This is it. I will be sitting here for the next 6 hours. That's the only thing about a cooked soap, especially one that cooks for 6 hours. You're basically watching it do what it do. And that can be dull. I splashed myself, apparently. Oh, well, I need to take this outfit off. So, like I said, propensity to splash because of the small amount. If there's not a lot of volume, okay, your blade is this big. Your soap has to be over the blade or tilted so that way it's over the blade. Otherwise, it's just going to splatter everything out. If you know how these blenders work, you see that hole? When it's mixing here, it's coming out through that hole. So you don't want to have the ingredients lower than that blade because it splatters. In the meantime, I got some videos lined up so that way when I sit here and cook, I have something to entertain myself. I'm going to double check to make sure I didn't splash anywhere else, because this shirt can come right off and go into the washer. Everything else needs to be neutralized. So, yeah. This has been P+7 on Twitter and YouTube, P+ elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located at PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Here's what we got going on right now. And I'll bring you back at various points during the cook. In the meantime, I'm finna go neutralize, and then I'll be watching soap cook. Cook soaps are about as entertaining as paint drying. It has certain steps that you have to really be watching out for, but mainly that's it. You're just sitting here. This has been P+. Bye now. Still cooking. Got my coffee cup here. Some video games going. And just waiting. Let me show you what I got so far though. It has thickened up a little bit. Looks very much like a chocolate cake, doesn't it? But that's black soap. People are under the impression that black soap is actually black, but it's actually a really deep, dark brown, almost the color of coffee or chocolate. And when it's done cooking and solidifies and everything, it's a little bit darker than that. But, yeah. I'll bring you back when there's more to see. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to my game. Because it's not doing much. Like I said, it's a 6-hour cook. Bye now. Well, things are happening. As you can see over there, it's starting to do the bubble over. Some of it has gotten a deeper brown because it's reaching Vaseline stage. Yeah. Then it's time to give it a good stir and let it do the bubble over again. I do that at least twice, so that way I know it's completely cooked and past Vaseline stage, at which time I turn it down, cook it till I'm absolutely positively sure it's done. It's got that nice earthy black soap smell, and then it will go into the containers, or a mold rather. So in the meantime, more coffee, more video games, more waiting. Look at that, it's at Vaseline stage. Well, most of it is. It's already turned over. Look at that. See that? It's not stuck to the spatula anymore because it's no longer liquid. Now it's a gel. This is called Vaseline stage. As you can tell, it looks slightly translucent. That's because it's cooked now. That's done. But as is tradition, once it reaches Vaseline stage, I cook it a little bit more, so that way I can be sure the lye is completely cooked out. Vaseline stage means that saponification has happened, but because it's a cooked soap, you want to make sure that the saponification that has happened is completely neutralized, is neutralized with heat and cooking. So now that this has reached Vaseline stage, I'm going to turn it down and cook it for another 3 hours. Yes. Yum. This little bit that's left to scrape out, I'm just going to add some water to it, let it dissolve. That'll become a black soap shampoo. The rest of the soap is here. 4 bars that will cool down and be ready in 2 weeks. This has been Pipla. Black soap is a little complicated to make, but it's worth it. That's why I make it in small batches. It's a 6-hour cook. I'm getting hungry. It's going on 6 o'clock in the evening, and 6:30 is dinner time. So yeah, this has been Pipla. My soaps located at PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, PurpleButterfly-Pipla.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Bye now. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye now. That came out well.